All right. I can never tell if this is working the way that it should be working, but hopefully it is. So, assuming that everything is working the way that it should be working, we are now live. So, hello and welcome to everyone who's watching the Written Melon channel, wherever this day may have found you. I'm so glad that you are here. My name is Chelsea and I write books about black girls who aren't all that nice. And you guys, this is a special stream because this is my first ever sponsored live stream. So shout out to Ellipsis for partnering with me to tell you guys about the software that I have been using for the last couple of months. So I'm gonna give everyone a chance to get in, but shout out to everyone who is already in the chat. Jay Monet is here. La is here. Mags is here. Good morning. Good morning. Ben is here working on his day job stuff. Sounds good. JK is also here. Good morning. Going to be working on social media and revising Project Sugar and Spice. Sounds good. Angels of Power is here. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. And this is your reminder to go ahead and tap the like button while you're here because it does not hurt you and it only helps the live stream. So that being what it is, I'm so glad that you can make it. We are here to be productive. So, before I get into all of the fun stuff, for sure, let me know what you guys are planning to work on today. But while you guys are getting in the chats, we're going to go ahead and jump into this because I want you guys to be able to actually use the software today if you would like to. So, like I said, this live stream is sponsored by Ellipsis. And if you've never heard of Ellipsis, like I said, is the writing software that I personally have been using since November-ish when I found out about it. If you guys are in my community, like my Patreon community, or you join the channel, which you can do right now if you'd like to, but I've been talking about this since the whole blow up with like NaNoWriMo. We had a whole Melanin chat on it and everything. And this was one of the sponsors for NaNoWriMo previous to all of that. But I found it and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And if Ellipsis is, as you can see, a collaborative writing tool made for human to human creativity. And basically what that means is that it is built by writers, for writers, specifically for creative writing. So if you are here, hopefully you are a writer of some sort, or you reading whatever. I'm getting distracted. Point is, I'm rambling. Point is, the software is amazing, and that is essentially what it boils down to. There is a link down in the description box if you guys want to click on it and check it out. But this is the website, and you can sign up for it for free. One of the things that I like about Ellipsis that I'm not going to throw shots at any other writing software, but you can write on it on any device. So your desktop, your phone, your laptop, your tablet, as long as it has access to the internet, you can work on your stories, which is something that I personally really appreciate because I'm not always at my setup here doing the professional thing. Sometimes I'm laying in bed or whatever. So you can do it on any device, but let me get to the point that y'all care about. The thing that I like about Ellipsis personally is that when you sign up for it, it's got organization. And I know that sounds like such a wild thing, but honestly, I've worked in so many software where all your files are just like listed out and you can't organize them or whatever. Ellipsis gives you folders. I have mine separated into Project Necromancer, which I'm personally going to be working on today, and the Lady Widow. I'm going to show you guys the Lady Widow because the Lady Widow is already out. You guys can get into that at your own leisure. But some of the cool features is, as you can see, it's super nested. You can separate it by book 1, book 2, so you can have all of your projects together. And I kind of like that, especially since most of what I write are series. It's just like, oh, I have everything together and I can reference it. But to the point. This is what it looks like once you get inside. And you have, can y'all tell that I'm a little bit nervous talking about this? This is crazy. This is wild. But the fun things. I'm personally like a straightforward girly as far as like fonts and things. I like to set my fonts. My biggest thing is like my line spacing because y'all see these glasses? These are not for show. I cannot see. So personally, I like to expand my line spacing, but what I love about Ellipsis that a lot of other software does not give you is the fact that you can customize it however you want. So they have like a crap ton of fonts, honestly, way more than any other software that I've used. So format it however you like. And what else am I supposed to be telling you guys? outlines, look, get into it. I'm not going to go through all the features. But my favorites, like I said, are the fact that you can control your line spacing, you can control what it looks like. And I have it in dark mode, but they have a bunch of different themes that you can choose from. So light mode if you are, chaotic. But they also have this really cute green mode and the sepia mode. I have mine in like regular dark mode because I don't know, that's just how I live my life. But all that being said, they do have your word count and they do have a timer, which personally I like because you can set this for however long you want. So if you're like locked in, you can be like, hey, I'm going to be writing for 2 hours, and it'll keep track of your word count during that time. But all that being said, if you guys have questions about ellipsis, for sure, put them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to talk to you about it because, as I said, like, they're sponsoring the channel, but like I've been personally using this for the past, 4 months, 5 months? So I actually enjoy this. Software. But that being said, let's actually get ready to get some work in. So, let's see here. Max set storage options. Everything is in the cloud. So everything is backed up both locally and to the cloud. So you don't have to worry about losing anything. So if for whatever reason your computer shuts down, and that has happened to me before, your power goes out, it glitches, whatever, everything that you wrote is saved up both to your device and to their server, so you can get everything back, which is something that I appreciate because honestly, I be seeing those horror stories online talking about Scrivener and how like people, when their computer dies, they lose like all of their work, and it's like, I don't know, that's just terrifying to me. That's just absolutely terrifying to me. But I can't tell nobody how to live their life. I can't. That's not my job. But I don't know. I genuinely feel like if you are a writer of any kind, ellipsis is the way to go. It's a good tool to have in your arsenal, personally. Also, shout out to All Day Reads, who's here. Good morning. TEB is also here. Good morning. Good morning. And yeah, there are a couple other features that I can show you guys a little bit later. One of the ones that I personally have been using a lot lately is the timer. So that's what you see on screen. Y'all know we do 45-minute sprints with 10-minute breaks in between. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Personally, I'm going to be working on Project Necromancer. I am currently in the middle of chapter 5. So my goal before was to have this book done by the end of April, and I'll probably talk about this in my next C Squared Chronicles. But I've decided to move that back to the end of June, simply because I got obligations. I got things I got to do with my time. I got other things at this point in my life. And can I sit down and bang out this book in like 30 days? Sure. For sure. I could, if that was the only thing that I had to do. But it is not the only thing that I have to do. So I'm trying to get this book done by June at this point. But that being said, I'm still trying to get this book done as soon as possible, because my goal is still to write the 3rd book of the trilogy, as well as work on the 2nd book of the Lady Widow series. I had to remember the name of the series, y'all. I didn't remember the name of the series. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Let's see here. Max said they don't have an app, right? But you can type in mobile browse, right? So it's a web app. If that makes sense. So it's not like a proprietary app that you can go to the App Store and download, but I have the like web app installed on my computer. So it's in my taskbar, it's in my start screen. You can also save it as like an actual app icon on your phone, but it's just going to open up the web app, if that makes sense. But no, it's not like a proprietary app that you download. Ash is here. Good day. I'm glad you could make it, ma'am. Let's see here. All Day said in the office for the day job, so no writing or reading for me until later. I get that. This is my goal for today, is to get, I think it's like 1,500 words that I'm aiming for on a daily basis. So yeah, 1,464 words is what I'm aiming for today. And then after that, I have some beta reading that I want to do. If you guys don't know, quick little plug for Tatiana OB. if you guys have not read Sister Samurai, she has announced that her second book, Return of the Sister Samurai, is coming out. I don't know if she's had announced the release date yet, but I am beta reading it for her. So my goal for today is to get my writing in, knock this out and read her book and get her some feedback. And if I'm really balling today, if I'm really balling, I may come back and try to do like a second set of like sprints to get this book done as quickly as possible. But we got to see how the time is working. But yeah. Also, we got about 2 minutes, 15 minutes after the hour, we're going to get into our first sprint. So this is your reminder to go ahead, get set up, get your water, get your coffee, get whatever you need to be successful, out ready to go. Because yeah, we're going to be locked in. We're going to be productive. My goal is to hit this 1,400 words on stream. So we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes, but hopefully we're successful. Hopefully I'm successful. And this is also your reminder to go ahead and sign up for Ellipsis. It's free, you guys. You just click sign up for the beta, set up your login, and then you're in. And there really is no learning curve. So if you want to write in it today, and we could be writing in the same software, that'd be so fun. You get in and you start typing. And I don't know, like I can't tell you how to live your life, but I can give you suggestions. So, let's see here, but got about 60-ish seconds. Am I ready to go? Hold on. I'm trying to make sure y'all are ready. Okay, yes. Okay. Everything is pulled up. I'm ready to go. If I'm going to hit this goal, I really need what is 15 divided by 3? I feel like I should know that. Benjamin is watching. Benjamin, what is 1,500 divided by 3 sprints? How many words do I need? That's like less than 600. I know that. And what, at least 500? Wow, 5 times 3 is 15. I really math is not my thing. But my goal is to get at least 500 words during the sprint. So we'll see how that works out. But it is now 15 minutes after the hour. So we're going to go ahead and get into this first sprint. So you guys know how this works. We got 45 minutes on the clock. Chill hop in the background. And when you hear me talking to you again, it'll be time to come back and let us know what you did, how you did, all of that good stuff. So hope you guys are productive, and we will chat in 15 minutes. Good luck. that is it for that sprint. So come on back, let us know what you did, how you did, all of the good stuff. As for me, myself, I did not start with a blank document, so it's a little hard for me to be like, oh, I got exactly this many words because I copied and pasted a lot into the document. So the word count was like, hey, you got 2,000 words. And I'm like, some of this was from last night. Some of this was from last night. But I am up to 2,167 words, which is roughly like the halfway mark for me. When it comes to this story in particular, the chapters are kind of on the long side, somewhere between like 5,000 and 7,000 words, something like that. So not quite the halfway mark, but I am making good progress. And I have no complaints. Um, let's see here. Max said ended up doing some chores, seeing the spouse off to work, and meeting prep. Sounds good. I should probably do some chores at some point, but I'm also like just waiting for the moment where I'm just like, I am rich enough to hire someone to do this for me. This is no longer on my to-do list. But yeah. Let's see here. JK said, congrats. Thank you. I am, like I said, I'm trying really hard to get this done for sure, at least chapter 5 today, mostly because I need to stay on track, you guys. Like I said, my goal is to finish. I want to definitely finish Project Necromancer this year specifically, as soon as possible, but definitely by the end of June. So I'm just kind of like, I want to stay on track. I want to make sure that I'm meeting my goals. And I also know that the beginning chapters are a little bit easier, simply because I've written so much of the story and I've written it and rewritten it. So it's pretty, look at Ben coming through with the math thing. That completely wrecked my train of thought. Hold on. What was I saying? I have no idea what I was saying at this point, but that's fine. But Ben did the math. I got 648 words, which means I'm on track. So I'm not mad about it. I am not mad about it in the slightest. What was I saying? I don't know, something about Project Necromancer and wanting to get it done, and the beginning is a lot easier to write because I have rewritten it so many times, but I know that the further I get into the story, the more new content I'm going to have to write. Because even with chapter 5, about, I don't know, I could pull over maybe about 30, maybe 40% of what I've already written, but I know that it's going to take, like, this is one of those chapters where things really start to deviate into new content. And so I'm like, man, I had some great banter. So I'm trying to save some of that between the characters, but otherwise I'm just kind of like, it's all new content. I know that's going to slow down the process a lot. So I'm trying not to fall behind. I'm trying to stay on top of it and not fall behind. Let's see here. Jay Monet said, I need to get back to my novella too. I just don't have the rest of the story in my mind right now. No, I feel that. I feel like that is something as authors and writers, we definitely should talk about more, because sometimes I feel like the idea is that, oh, you just sit down and you write and then that's it. But then sometimes just like the whole story isn't there. Sometimes there's a conversation that you have to have with someone that you haven't met yet, or something that triggers this chain reaction process of creativity. And sometimes that requires just like being alive a little bit longer. And no matter what you do, sometimes you just have to wait. You have to be patient. And it's a really frustrating part of being a creative, especially when you're like, I have deadlines and I have things that I want to do. But it's also like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Because I know that there are definitely some like friendships and conversations that I needed to have in order to finish this book, where it's like now I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, I could just like sit down and knock this book out and it's not going to be a big deal. But I also recognize that there are definitely some people that I hadn't met and some conversations that I had not had when I started this back in 2023 that just was not going to let me finish this book the way that I thought I would. So it is what it is. It is what it is, but that's okay because other good things came out of it. Out of my procrastination, I, put together an anthology, and I wrote not only a short story in that anthology, I wrote one for Fire Lit as well, and I released a novella. So even though I did not release a book like I thought I would, I still had work coming out. So perspective, everything comes together in the end. I'm going to give us about another 3-ish minutes to take this break that we need. So this is your reminder to stretch, breathe, drink some water, do whatever it is that you need to do in order to take care of yourself. At 10 minutes past the hour, we are going to get back into our next sprint. So this is also your reminder. Like I said, this sprint is sponsored by Ellipsis. So I would just like to know, like, out of curiosity, how many of you guys have actually like tried Ellipsis or heard of it? Because I know this isn't my first time mentioning it on the channel, but I'm also like curious because it is one of those software, and maybe it's just me because I am I'm like a writing tool junkie. So whenever something new and shiny comes along, I'm like, ooh, what is this? Let me try it. I have tried many a plotting and outlining tool in my day, and that's one of the reasons why I know that I'm not an outliner, I'm not a plotter, because even with the like newest, shiniest things, I'm just kind of like, no. My brain is like, it's not happening. It's not happening because for me, I'm like, once I plot it, my brain immediately wants to deviate from the plan. So I found the best way is for me personally, is just to make it up as I go along. But that being said, I've also tried like my fair share of like writing tools. And I know that I have mentioned like Dabble Writer a lot, but I also know that I've mentioned Ellipsis specifically because Ellipsis is free. Like you can literally just sign up and start writing. And I tried it because, I was like, I stumbled across it, and then I remember telling my patrons about it, and I was like, have y'all heard of this? This is new to me. And they were like, no. So I was like, okay, well, let me try it. And at first I was just trying it for like the Lady Widow, because I was like, oh, it's a novella, I don't have a system for it yet, it's all good, let me just like try it out. But then I really was like, oh, this is really dope. And even in the last couple of months that I've been using it, they have had so many updates, and I was like, I'm not used to using a software where the updates are like actually useful. Like, I feel like that sounds crazy, but like the updates are actually really useful. Like the fact that one of the first things that they did almost immediately was like give you themes. So it's like, okay, now you have dark mode. And one of the things that I really like that I've been using a lot, especially with Project Necromancer, is like they have this feature where like you can like color code you can color code your text. And obviously a lot of places have like, oh, you can highlight your text and add notes and stuff, but I really like the fact that you can actually color code it. And they have like 10, 12 colors for you to be able to choose from. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, they've got like 10 different colors. But the thing is, within those colors, they have like different levels of intensity. So if you have the dark mode, you can actually set the really pale one so that it shows up correctly. Or if you have the light mode, you can do the dark one, whatever makes you happy. But when I tell y'all, I have been using that so often because I have like, the thing is with me, especially when I'm working on like Project Necromancer or whatever, I have like 4 drafts up constantly at all times. I have the draft that I'm working on. I have the original draft that I'm like referencing and seeing what I can pull over. But then I also have what I call my graveyard up. And so it's really nice to be able to color code things and be like, okay, I'm keeping this. I know that I need to keep this. Or it's like, this is good and I might be able to save this for a future chapter. And to be able to just like have things and know that it's like, oh, this is all like synced and backed up, and I don't have to worry about it. I can just like literally copy and paste it over to wherever I need it to be, and it works. And I'm just like, oh, this is so nice, because that's not true for every writing program. Sometimes it's just frustrating. But that was a rant, that was a tangent. But it's just the little things, the little things that come together. They really make it an experience. Let's see here. Max said, heard and currently trying it for a short story. Okay, let me know what you think about it, because I know that I definitely can be like, oh, this is. I know I have the attention to be like the what is it? What is the word? Hyper focused sometimes, but I don't know. I've been hyper focused on this for a really long time, so I feel like it's not a hyper focus anymore. I feel like it's not a hyper focus anymore. But yeah, Jay Monet said I might try it. If you do, let me know what you think about it because I don't know. I feel like there's so many writing software that are just like pay for it, right? Like I feel like there's so many that are just straight up like you have to pay for this or you need like a year or whatever, and lifetime subscriptions are so freaking expensive. So I don't know. I just really like that this makes sense in a way that it's like, huh, I did not realize this was missing until I had it. Like honestly, just organization. When I tell y'all that the organization had me like, ah! And I was like, Ben, come look at this. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm an organization junkie. Like all of my files are heavily nested. Heavily nested in all of my files. So the fact that I can have my graveyard and my old drafts and my new chapters all in the same thing, it brings me joy. It brings me joy. But that being said, I'm rambling and it is now 12 minutes after the hour. So we are going to go ahead and get into this next sprint. Um, Y'all like my little transitions? Ben helped me upgrade it. So I'm also using a new streaming software. So let me know what you guys think of the new setup because yeah, it's new. It's new. Ben helped me set it up. It's what Melt Studio. So I used to use Streamlabs, but I'm using Melt now. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. Um, Distracted. Oh, next sprint. All right, you guys, we're about to get to this next sprint. Y'all know how this works. We're going to have 45 minutes on the clock. Chill hop in the background. And when you hear me talking to you again, it'll be time to come back and let us know what you did, how you did, all that good stuff. As for me, I am going to get up during the sprint so that I can stretch and get some water like I hope you are doing. Stay hydrated, my friends. And yeah, that's it. So happy sprinting, everyone, and good luck.
be mine. Hope it's not. Hope it's not too late.
All right, you guys. That is it for that sprint. So come on back. Let us know what you did, how you did, all of that good stuff. Um, it's actually 1 o'clock on the dot, at least Eastern time. So we are going to take a 10-minute break before our next sprint. As for me, according to Ellipsis, I actually got 480 words at time, so not quite 500, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Still very much within the realm of where I need to be to meet my word count for today. Um, and part of that is due to the fact that I don't know if anybody else has like this problem, but for me, whenever I'm working on like a later draft and I have things to pull over, I sometimes have a tendency to fall into this thought process of like, oh, I'll just have the original document up and then I'll save what I can. But sometimes that thinking gets me like locked into, oh, I need to save this, or oh, I need to figure out a way to incorporate this, or I really like this banter, so on and so forth. And even though I do like what I wrote previously, I also recognize that like I started a new draft because I needed to start a new draft. So during that sprint, I ended up actually closing out of the old version because I'm pretty sure I've saved everything that could be saved from it. Ultimately, where that chapter ends up going is not where this new version needs to go. So I'm just kind of like, I was going to have to deviate from it at some point, but I'm at that point now. I'm at that point. So um, I'm good with it though. Like, I'm good with it. I think, I don't know if I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, this is better than what I've written before, only because the previous version had multiple, like, rounds of revisions to it in my attempt to try to figure out where it's going. But I'm also like, I am not mad about this, like, in the slightest. In the slightest. But then again, I'm also like, I'll see what Ben says. If Ben likes it, then I'm like, okay, we're on the right path. But if not, it is what it is. We go back to the drawing board. But I think I like this new direction. I feel like, I don't know. It's just nice to have a sense of like, okay, yeah, I know exactly where the story is going. I know where this leads. I know how we're gonna get there. It's nice. It's nice. Um, and I'm also liking this, like, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's just me, but I have these two characters, and it's just kind of like, it's nice. I don't know. How am I trying to word this? I don't know. They're like in a relationship, but I feel like so much of like relationships that are on the page in books are they're in like that brand new like honeymoon phase, or they're, even if they are in that phase, they're not like really talking to each other. It's just like a lot of spice, a lot of like lusting after each other, which is cool, which is great. We love that. But I'm also like, one of the things that I definitely want to include is, I don't know, I like putting healthy relationships to an extent in my books. Like, even if there's murder, it's just like, but this aspect of the book is not going to be like unhealthy and toxic, right? you know? And so with these two characters, I'm just like, we like, they need to have a very serious conversation because, homegirl is, they they live in a bubble. They live in a bubble and bubbles pop. And so I'm just like, they need to have a conversation about this. So that's where I'm at now. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like this. I kind of like this. It's giving me a lot of motivation for what's coming up in like the second part of the book. Because in my mind, in Chelsea World, I'm like, there are three major parts to the book, and like part one, part two, part three, right? And so I'm like, okay, part one is very specifically like this couple and the things that are leading up to some bigger things that are happening in the book. So a lot of what's in part one is context, but it's also like, it's got its own thing going on, right? It's got its own thing, but it's coming together, and I can finally see the whole picture, and I'm like, heck yeah. Heck yeah. But feel free to let me know what you guys are doing, what you got accomplished during that sprint, and also let me know if you tried ellipsis, because like I said, um, that's what I'm using and I like it. So I'm curious. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it. Ben said, interesting. According to my math, you got 502 words. That sprint, does ellipsis only count words while the timer was going? Yes. So ellipsis counts words while the timer is going, so you know how many you got during that sprint. I had a couple more words because I wanted to finish out like my sentence, my thought. So that's probably why the word count is different, but that means I'm also on track. So yay me. Um but that is something worth noting, in case you guys are interested in using the timer. But you do get like a full word count at the top, obviously. But yeah. Let's see here. Amanda said, I like that you put relationships that have had some time in on the page. It's so refreshing. Yeah. I like it. And the thing is, I feel like I have to write established relationships because I have been with Ben for so long. I'm like, I don't know that brand new. Oh my gosh, I'm just talking to you. Like, I've never had to flirt with someone brand new as an adult, like, ever. That's just not something that I have in my repertoire. And so I'm like, I need this to I need this to be healthy. I need this to make sense. I need them to be in it for the long haul. You know, that's my lived experience. That's my lived experience. So Project Necromancer is different in the sense of like the characters, they are down for each other, but also it's not like a, oh, we've been in this for a long time type situation. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay, especially since they're youngins in a sense. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's one of the hardest things, at least for me, is because it's like, I know that I write adult fiction, but I'm also like, they are new adults. Like, they're, early 20s adults, right? And it's just like, I don't know. It's like when you 21, 22, like, yeah, you're an adult, but like, you're a baby. You're a child. Like, chill out, right? So part of my brain is just like, oh, this is like young adult, but I'm also like, nah, they're grown. They're very much grown. So I'm trying to also like figure out that balance of like where to go with things. But I think I have finally just fully accepted that I just don't write spice. Like, that is just not my thing. That's not my bag. That's not where I need to be. That's not the lane I want to be in. And being in, 2025 and seeing the conversations that happen in the bookish community and how so many people heavily promote the spice in their book, and so many people go into a romance being like, oh, obviously if it's an adult romance there's going to be some level of spice in it. And I'm just kind of like, not I. I am not among that number. I don't know. And I think part of it is because I'm just kind of like, one, like I've said this before and I'll probably say this again, but like my family reads my books. And so I'm like, no, I'm not putting that I'm not doing that. But also, I don't know. I feel like, and this is just me, in the hill that I personally, I'm not saying I'm going to die on it, but the hill that I live on, that I built my house on, right? I was kind of like, unless it adds something specific to the plot, unless it is adding something specific, like contextually to the story, unless it needs to be there, unless it's furthering something along, I'm like, does it need to be here? Like, does it? Does it? And I just have found that, at least for the way that I tell my stories, I'm just like, yeah, we don't need a multi-page spice scene. We don't need an open door scene. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. But that's how I think, and that's why I'm like, yeah, nah. I'm not going to be, personally, like, I am not going to be writing open door scenes. But I have to live with that. Let's see here. Mag said, out from my work meeting. Congratulations. Why am I at this job again? I'm going to assume it's for the monies. That's why a lot of us go to work. So hopefully it wasn't too bad though. Well, hopefully it wasn't too bad. But yeah. That being said, that was our second sprint. So we do have one more sprint coming up. In about literally 1 minute. So at 10 minutes after the hour, we're going to get into our next sprint, our third sprint of the day, which will probably be the last sprint for the day. Which I'm good with. I feel like we've gotten a lot done. And I say I feel like I've gotten a lot done. So I feel like I'm getting somewhere with this story, and that makes me feel good, honestly. But that being said, I am not going to continue rambling and waste all of our sprinting time. So that being said, it is 10 minutes after the hour. We are going to go ahead and get into this next sprint. This is your reminder that if you haven't already, please make sure you are stretching, drinking your water, getting your snacks, getting your fresh air, doing whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself. And yeah, sprint number 3, 45 minutes on the clock. Chill hop in the background, and when you hear me talking to you again, it'll be time to come back and let us know what you did, how you did, all of that good stuff. So hope you guys are successful, and I will talk to you in 45 minutes. Happy sprinting, everyone. All right, you guys, that is it for that sprint. So come on back, let us know what you did, how you did, all of the good stuff. Um, as for me, I think I'm pretty sure I hit my goal. I have to do some mathing. Hold on. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so cool. A total of 2,050 words. It took a second because I had to figure out where I started at, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Let's see here. Ben said 900 words that time, so hopefully all that math adds up. But yeah, at least 2,000 words, which means I hit my word count goal for today. Knocked it out of the park. So, because my word count goal was only like 1,500 words. So, we're doing good. We're doing good. And I'm pretty sure that I also finished this chapter. I think there's some parts that are definitely going to have to be edited, like reevaluated, because again, I'm like, is this taking the story where I need it to go? And I think part of it is just because the previous version of this chapter was very heavy on like world building lore, but this version is more so heavy on like moving the plot forward. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Got to make sure that it actually balances out and works. But that is something that I know that I cannot do when I've just written it. So I'm going to have to sleep on it and come back to it. But hopefully it's something that is I can use. Let's see here. Max said, I finished making some feedback channels. Awesome. And waiting on any issues with them. Going to lunch soon. Awesome. I definitely need to get some lunch. I had breakfast this morning, which I'm super proud of. So I'm like, either I can get a snack or I can wait until until I'm hungry enough to actually make dinner. One of those two things. Because it's already 2 o'clock. So I'm like, I could just wait another couple of hours until Ben's off work and then just do dinner. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Jay Monet said, got some reading in from my submissions box and book. Awesome. Amanda said, outline is complete. Yay. Gonna keep writing and start on my screenplay. Sounds great. Ugh, I love this progress. I love how it's coming together. I'm thinking that I will probably work some more on Project Necromancer tonight, if I have the energy for it, because after this I am going to be reading. So and I'm just one of those writers where it's just like, if I'm actively drafting something, it's kind of hard for me to like switch back to reading. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see how that works out. I don't switch well in between, but I'm trying to do better with that. Which is part of the reason why I started the DNF book club, because it's just like, I want to read more, but I also want to, I don't know, I want to have my brain on while I'm reading and have like honest discussions about what I'm reading. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't read as often as I could, because I'm just like, I ain't got nobody to talk to. So we'll see how that works out. But that being said, that was our last sprint for today. I'm trying to think. Are there any updates I need to tell you guys beforehand? I don't think there is. We definitely have the Melanin Chat coming up next week. If you would like to join the channel, for sure, do that. Sign up for the Patreon or join, whatever makes you happy. And yeah. Oh, I will also say that if you enjoy sprinting, we do writing sprints in the Discord server. So if you join the channel or the Patreon, you will get access to that. And we do sprints every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. So we didn't do it last time because I pulled an all-nighter, and I did not realize until like a couple of days ago that I just completely forgot about them. But to be fair, I had stayed up for like, I don't know, more than 24 hours straight. And so I was tired. But all that being what it is, hopefully you guys enjoyed these sprints. Hopefully this works. Let's see if this works. Okay, it did. So also a reminder that if you are here, these sprints were sponsored by Ellipsis. So hopefully you guys gave them a chance and signed up for the software. There's a link down in the description box below. It's what I've been using to write, and it's great. It's fantastic. It's honestly one of my favorite writing software, and this is sponsored, but also like I can say what I want, and I'm not just saying this to gas y'all. So get into it. Like, one of the big things is that they are very much anti-AI, and I feel like in this era, especially in 2025, where everything is just like, I don't know, all over the place, especially with, AI stealing books and everything else. It's nice to have a software that's just like, your writing is yours. It's built for creative people. It's built for you to have your content, and nobody else is not being fed. Your information isn't being sold. It's like I said, is created by writers who wanted a software that worked for them. And it's a beautiful thing. But that being said, if you haven't already, go ahead and like the stream and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss when I go live. Feel free to tell someone else to join us next Tuesday for the Melanin Chat, or the Tuesday after that for more writing sprints. And I think that's it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. And until next time, I hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye.